I'm gonna go and get lost in this forest. I sort of know where the boundaries are, but I'm gonna go and get lost. The thing to remember about forests is, if you're scared of wolves, don't go in the forest. I know this forest. This is Newborough Forest. Paths are well trodden. Most people stick to the same ones, and then you get odd people like me who just go off piste, as it were. I know that somewhere over there to my right, that way, which is your left, to my right anyway, is the Populate estuary, and that way there's a road, leads all the way down from, it's a forestry road, leads all the way down to it's a wolf, it could be a bear, there's bears here as well. Road that leads all the way down to St. Dwynwen's Island, Llanddwyn Island, which she's a patron saint of lovers. I'd watch it if I were you, because it didn't end up well for her. Life of misery and, I don't know, despair. And she's a patron saint of love. Reflecting back on a few of mine, I would say that's quite accurate. So she's my patron saint as well. Further beyond the road you have, now we're getting lost, I haven't got a clue. That way. Oh, that way. That way. The track goes down to the island, and then beyond that, I don't know, is I think it's a warren, but it's used as pasture now. And in these bone dry conditions, I imagine that most of the pasteurizing, most of the munching will be on silage brought in, because nothing grows here, nothing at all. Further down you have family of Hugin and Mummim, two of Odin, Norse gods, briefest colleagues. He would send them out into the world, and they would return with the secrets that they had learned. I think you find in films that ravens over there in the Corsican pines, that they're generally regarded as being spooky and such, whereas they're a sign for Christianity, a sign of divine providence, and also guardian of Britain and for the Celts. And yeah, for Odin, they went out and they were his eyes and ears on the world. I'm thinking, ooh, what do you think? That one looks okay. This one looks, it's actually leading somewhere, I haven't got a clue where. If it was darker, I would still come here, even though I'm not really that familiar with it. Which is what most people struggle with. Look at this. Why, I don't know. I'd still come, because I know somewhere over there is a boundary, somewhere over there there are two boundaries, one beyond the other, and if I were to follow further down towards the island, the forestry becomes even wider and bigger, and that's an even bigger test. It's a forest potentially full of cryptids and wolves and yeti and Sasquatch and Bigfoot and what else have we got? Shapeshifters. Wendigo. Wendigo, I don't know. I wasn't there. Oh, look at this. I haven't seen this before. Oh, this. This is amusing. I've been here for a while, and what have they done in the meantime? They created a boardwalk. I didn't know that was there. I was feeling brave up to that point. Never mind. I remember that one. The dark woodlands make us nervous, and the island. Here we go. And the island, for one thing, is, I think, well, because it was once the. Let's go this way. This is barely a path. Yeah. It was the headquarters for the. It's just leading us back to the boardwalk there. Yeah, headquarters of British Druidry. So it's full. And the reason for that, there would be many sacred spaces, sacred groves, I suppose, on an island which was covered with woodland. Probably oak. I think oak seems to be attractive to them. If Asterix the Gaul is to be believed, the Druid gets a fix. Nope. There you go. And I'm still convinced that, which way? This way. I don't know where I'm going, just guessing. Yeah, island, because there were groves, magical spaces and probably liminal spaces where here and elsewhere exist at the same moment. It doesn't if you believe in linear time, apparently. You know, yesterday, today and tomorrow. I like this. I don't know. Yeah, so they would be reaching through these gateways to speak with spirits and scare the bejesus out of their followers. But I don't blame them. You know, bought them food and power and ability to make decisions over other people, or the opportunity anyway. Let's have a look. Look at this. This place gives you the impression of dampness, but there is no dampness. As I say, this is bone dry. Anyway, the groves, sacred groves, must be all over the place. They wouldn't have chosen the island otherwise. And there are indications of ley lines with the mine here in Welsh, long stones. And these things still exist, and you can. The problem with today's life is, you know, technical complaints, might as well have one, is that we move too quickly. And when we are moving, even as long as if we're not driving a vehicle, then what happens is, let's have a look. I'll talk. What happens is that we're on the mobile phone. 90%, it used to be 80, I think it's about 90% of the people on a bus these days will be looking at their phone instead of looking out the window. And I think probably since they invented the bike, people have moved far too quickly. I think you spot or assess that these liminal spaces, these sacred groves are there, is by a feeling of uncertainty. But if you're moving quickly, then, you know, you're not going to spot any uncertainty. And that's why people, I think, are scared these days of moving slowly, moving in familiar territory. Here, for instance, it's a forest, and it gets far denser further that way you go. And people don't like that. People like certainty, because they begin to imagine that there are wolves there. And as I say, if you're scared of wolves, don't go into the forest, because you may find there are bears there as well, and the Wendigo, cryptids. The camera makes this place much lighter, but in the evenings after twilight then it becomes eerie, I suppose. Unfamiliar territory, terra incognita. Anyway, why am I about this? I've done things in my life which are really pushed me out of my comfort zone, especially when I needed to. I know the boundaries of my life, and I know where I stop, because I've convinced myself. I did once convince myself, we go this way, and once, yeah, let's go this way. I once convinced myself that the boundaries which I set for my life were adequate, but it was a very boring life, not much going on, because I was scared of pushing those boundaries. So here I know the boundaries, but there's another boundary, as I say, it's a boundary of imagination, something that the Druids took advantage of, I suppose. And nowadays, because we hate being alone, we need to be loved at all times and liked and ticked. And I suppose, oh gosh, there's a path there. We're terrified of being alone. It's an existential thing. It might be in reality, or it might be in the technical sense, that we feel isolated because nobody's cast a few electrons in our general direction. Good thing about knowing where your boundaries are. Let's go have a look. Yay. Good thing about knowing where your boundaries are is that really you can push. So if you're scared of going into woodland in the dark, then go in the afternoon. Gradually push the envelope. Sort of know where I'm going. Behind me is the... oh dear Lord, look at that. You can get used to the noises of the forest and know that you're okay. And then later on, remember in the Alps, going through a forest, trying to get up to climb the Matterhorn to pick up a friend who had been rescued off the mountain, the Matterhorn. And you'd be there with your head torch going up the mountain through the forestry, and you'd move your torch to head to one side or the other, and the eyes would be looking back at you. We weren't scared because it was three of us, so it was okay. But the first time we all jumped. So at night we were pushing our envelope of our skill, of our nerve, of our competence in order to get to a person who had been rescued, but it was night time. He had had to make his own way down, so we were going to help him. We found out across 2 days he'd lost almost a stone of weight climbing one of the ridges, not the Hornley Ridge. So you push your envelope. You've got to. In life. If you're not pushing your envelope, then you're going backwards. Unless you're reinforcing steps forward by moving forward and anticipating that, you know, you have the character to face things out, then you're going backwards, and you're reinforcing going backwards. So forest for me is a great test, like a mountain used to be, cliffs used to be, vertical cliffs, extremes. Went out of my way to, nothing to do with pushing boundaries, it was just an experiment to see if I could. Excuse me. As I say, further south of here, it gets a bit more complicated and it can really get lost. No need for rescue parties because The sea's that way, estuary's that way. There's a road over there somewhere, and if you keep going in any direction you'll eventually find your way out. But I can guarantee you, the longer you go, the more nervous you'll become. And maybe you'll step out. Here we are. There we go. There's a road there. Arrived at road. We have an instinct for trust, though we fear other people. And the rest of it is learned by imagination. Farmers are busy doing farming things. The island's beautiful because of them. So that's it. Wonderful forest. In daylight. I got lost. Would I risk being lost at night without a torch? Got my phone, like everybody else. I think there's somebody making a nest up there. Bits fell off. Or they're trying to pummel me. That's it. Would I? Yeah, I would. Find your boundaries and push them. In a forest, if you're scared of if you're scared of wolves, don't go in it. So, like most things in life, there is a road. That one goes all the way to the saint of miserable love affairs. My favourite saint. And the island. And there's a well there somewhere where if you throw tissue or cloth on top of it and it bubbles, then it means something. It means you won't get your hanky back, and if you do, you probably put it in the bin. It's a matter of hygiene. No path here. So common sense says don't look for a path. So the same flies. Grey fly we call them in Welsh. Persuading, or what do you call them? Horse flies? Steam bad boys or something. It's a beautiful day. I wish you well. This is brief. Next week I will be looking after my cousin who is having an operation on her foot. So I will be doing my best. It won't be good enough, I'll be shouted out. Which is normal. It's like being married, but at least you can escape now and then. I'm going to come down here later in the season. The reason for that is simple, because I mean we're talking all end of September, October. October is Hydref, which is autumn in Welsh. Anyway, autumn they'll be roosting noisily. I think it's one of the biggest colonies of ravens. I know it's a murder of crows. I don't know what it is of ravens. Should go on my phone, I suppose, but I prefer asking people. Because asking people is like going to the library, and you can point to a book, and you go to that book, and you look all around the shelves for that book, and you learn far more, and it brings context. Asking a person a story or an explanation is always great, because your memory of it is far better, which is why when I'm learning language I do my very best to bring stories in as often as possible. Seem to have left the very, very tall trees. Anyway, I wish you well. If you fancy it, give me a like and subscribe. Next time I'm going down further down, and we'll find the Corsican pines, and we'll have a chat about the crows, divine providence, and how they look beyond and bring depth of knowledge to situation, or we apply our knowledge and bring depth of understanding. So, go push your boundaries. Because the boundaries there doesn't mean stop, it means look beyond. My face continues to melt. E.T.'s eating more. Local cats are scared of her. I got a neighbour's gonna feed her next week. I'll be off for a week and then I'll come back and carry on feeding her on and off over the following week. We've got automatic feeders, so she's smart enough. She's had them before. Be well. Thank you very much. And from me, the man with the melting face, I wish you well. And as I say, if you want to subscribe, appreciate that enormously. If you want to like, that'd be nice. Push your boundaries of taste. Give me a like. Take care.